Perfect. So let's start sitting on the floor. Use a block or a pillow or a cushion, whatever you have, to lift your hips a little higher. So yes, today is the first day actually of the month of love. This is going to be the theme for the month. So there's quite a few practices dedicated to heart opening, heart healing, but also to love in any form or shape. So today we are loving our hips. So having said that, please really be gentle, honor your body. If you feel that something is too strong as a stretch or too intense, come out, stop, take a few breaths and rejoin. Very important to practice mindfully. So let's allow the knees to relax towards the ground. Let's allow the shoulders also to soften down. And then gently open the chest forwards, but without really arching your lower back, more like lengthen the spine and send the sternum forwards. Gently engage your lower belly, relax your face. Take a moment to go through all the facial muscles and gently release them one by one. And start to listen to your breath. No controlling or changing it. Just take a moment to notice. Take a moment to notice if your inhalations and exhalations are equal in length. See if your breaths are deep, shallow. Do you breathe into your belly or the chest? And also, is the airflow through your left and your right nostril the same? So whatever it is, be with it, accept it. The acceptance is probably a form of love that is very important, and not always we practice it. So let's use this time in our yoga class to accept ourselves just the way that we are. And then slowly let's start to lengthen those inhalations and exhalations. Breathe into your belly, up into your stomach and then the chest. And then breathe out from the chest. Push all the air out, down to the belly button in at the end of your exhale. So imagine the breath like a smooth, long wave rising up from the belly all the way to the shoulders, and then moving back down from the chest down to the belly. So let's take 5 deep, long, smooth breaths without any rush, following the path of the breath. If it helps, imagining white, bright light on inhalation coming up your spine. And then connect the tongue to the top of your palate or to the back of your teeth. And exhale this white, bright light down the front of the body. Let's do the final few rounds in silence. And think about taking your last breath here. Of course, I'm joking. Continue breathing afterwards as well. But then let's open the eyes, come back to the room. And from here, let's start moving the body in circles in one direction. So you can start with really small circles in the beginning. Also, if you feel like your block's too hard for you, like it is for me, you can remove it. Cushion might be better for this movement. And then slowly you can start to make those circles bigger and bigger. Also, try and sync your breath with the movement. So you can choose whether to exhale when you're forwards or inhale when you're forwards. Maybe try both and see which one works better for you. You could also, if you wish, include the head, which follows the circles of the torso. And then let's stop with the chest towards one of your knees. So bring the chest towards one of your knees and press the opposite hand into the knee and try and really lengthen the arm. And then bring that shoulder down towards the opposite knee as much as you can. Lengthen the spine, breathe, keep that arm long, keep the spine long. Take 2 breaths here. And then inhale, let's come up. And now I hope you remember which side your circles were, because we're going to do the opposite side. So either starting small or continuing with your big movements, maybe including the head, if that feels good. And be free in the movement, so no rigidity, no control. Allow your body to express itself. Don't forget to breathe. Good. What we forgot to do is to change the crossing of the legs, so please do it now, even though we're in the middle. But I can feel my right hip is far more stretched than the other now. So yeah, balance is also key. So next time your chest reaches the other knee now, so we're doing this in the other direction. Stay there, press the opposite arm into the knee And really try and bring that shoulder closer towards the knee. Lengthen the spine and don't forget to breathe. On your exhale, lower belly in. Good. One more breath. And let's come back to the center. Do a few shoulder rolls in one direction. Or yes, if you need to move the spine forwards and back, just don't feel compelled to do everything I say. It's a free class. And when you're ready, let's move on to all fours. So we're going to start with a little exploration of the range of motion of the hips. So hands underneath your shoulders, spread your fingers, and turn your bicep towards the front of the room. Yeah, the elbow creases towards the back, like we do for chaturanga. Tuck the tailbone under, pull the belly in. On your next inhale, bring the right leg up. Try and bring it so that it's parallel to the floor. Keep your core engaged. And on your exhale, bend the knee and bring the leg to the side so it's perpendicular to the body. Try and keep it as high as you can. So the leg is bent and we're keeping it there. Good. And then from here, we're going to try and bring that leg as high up, tracing towards the armpit and maybe touch the armpit. And then bring the knee behind the knee that is on the floor. Good. Let's repeat. Towards your armpit. Keep the knee as high as you can. Towards behind the other knee. Good. Let's repeat 3 more times. Sync your breath with the movement. And final round, wherever you are, let's place the knee behind your other knee. Good. Now place the back shin also on the floor. So both shins are on the floor. Yeah. And then you're going to move your hips back. So they don't need to reach very much back. But then if you can walk your hands and maybe sit between your heels, let's stay there for a moment. Explore the sensation. If it's too much, too intense, simply just come out of it a little. Lift your hips. Final breath. And then let's come forwards. Bring the knee back down. And let's take this natural back position, hands underneath the shoulders, engage the core. And let's lift the left leg now. Parallel to the floor, engage your core, both arms are straight, so try and keep them straight throughout the whole time. Bend the knee and bring it to the side so the leg is perpendicular to the body. Lift it a little higher. Notice if one of your arms is bent, try and straighten it. And on your next exhale, bring the knee towards your armpit. Move slowly with focus, don't rush it. And then inhale, bring the knee behind the other knee. Good, let's do 4 more. Slow, focused movement. And tune into the sensations in your hip socket, glute muscles. So the hips are a very complicated how do I call it? Mixture of various muscles, and they are on your inner thighs, the back of your thighs. While I'm talking, let's stop this movement, bring the knee behind and go back. as far back as you can. So it's not only the fronts of your hips, but also the sides, the backs of your legs, the glute muscles, the inner thighs. All this is connected to your hip mobility, hip movement. And overworking one side can cause problems. So today we're going to try to work on all aspects of your hips. Let's come forwards. Release the knee from behind the other one. Bring your knees hip distance apart. Sit back and stretch the arms forwards. So this is a great stretch for the hip flexors. These are the muscles that flex your hip, i.e., they bring the knee up towards your body. Usually very short in people who lead the Westerner type of life. Sitting in the office, sitting at home, sitting on the sofa. This shortens those muscles, but also shortens the hamstrings, which are the back of your thighs, which we're also going to work on. So let's take 5 more breaths here. I want you to feel into those hip flexors that should be lengthening at the moment. And also try to consciously bring your hips, your sitting bones rather, closer towards your heels. Also great stretch for your arms and back if you come on your fingertips, cup the floor, and walk your fingers as far forwards as you can. Good. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And slowly on your next inhale, look between your hands, press the palms into the floor, tuck the toes, and let's lift the hips up into downward facing dog. Doing a few movements here, walking your dog, stretching your body. First down dog for the day. First, really pose in which we are stretching the hamstrings. So if it's a little bit uncomfortable and your body is still cold, keep your knees bent. Good. And let's all meet in a still downward facing dog. On your next inhale, bring the right knee up towards your body. Bring it as close to your chest as you can. The knee. Yes, engage your core, round the upper back. Now come on your toes, on your left toes. And now transfer the weight so the shoulders are over the wrists. Good. Now push the floor one more time, round the back and step the foot. Good. Lengthen the body. Come into a low lunge and let's move a few times forwards and back. Up and down. Some of you are dancing. And then drop the back knee down on the floor. Good. Now let's place the hand on the knees this time and really send the torso up to vertical. Roll the shoulders back. Press the left knee into the floor. Press the right foot into the floor. Now you should be feeling this stretch along the left front of your hip, the left hip flexor. Good. On your next exhale, let's come back into half splits. Very important, don't support yourself on the knee. You can release the hands on the floor or keep them on your blocks or on your shin, but not on the knee. Now, roll your right hip down Yes. Lengthen the spine. Take another breath. And on your next inhale, frame the front foot, come forwards. Now, come up, knee off the floor, and rotate the back heel down on the floor. Also, please step your left foot a bit to the left so it's not behind your right foot. The back toes are turned forwards to 30 degrees. So Teti, if you can bring your toes more forwards, not backwards, forward towards your head. Aha, good. Now inhale and come up. The whole time, please try and keep your back foot the entire back foot on the floor. Also, make sure that your knee is over your ankle, so you might need to walk your front foot a bit back. Yes, Benny, walk it a little bit back. Good. Now turn the body to the center. Tuck your tailbone under, and feel when you do this movement, tucking the tail, how the front of your left hip lengthens. Keep your back leg straight, James, if you can. The entire foot on the floor. Don't lift it. Too much to ask? Do as much as you can. Good. Let's take another breath. And then from here, exhale and bring the body towards your thigh. Come on your back toes and transfer the weight slowly into warrior 3. So here, find a really steady base. Lift the arch of your right foot. If you can, arms are either by the side of the body in prayer or forwards by your ears. Good. Take another breath. Feel into your right hip flexor now. And let's exhale. Bring the hands down on the floor. And bring the standing leg down so we are in a forward fold. Good. Release the body towards your thighs. Again, you can keep your knees bent here, but try not to round the back. Grab the opposite elbows. And take a few breaths here. This time your attention is in the backs of your legs. Let's take a deep inhalation. And then exhale all the air out. And stay there without breathing. Now enter into the pose, to the maximum of the pose. So straighten your legs as much as you can and then slowly take an inhale. And 2 more breaths here before we move on. Let's inhale, coming halfway up. Roll the shoulders back, lengthen your spine. Feel energy, blood flowing in the backs of your legs, all the way to your glutes. Turn your tailbone up towards the sky. 1 more breath. And then exhale, fold forwards, hands on the floor. Start bending the knees, step, walk, or jump into plank, or straight into your vinyasa. Not many vinyasas today. Our focus is elsewhere. Cobra. And exhale. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Good. Second down dog for the day. Notice the body. Notice how your hamstrings have opened a little bit. Maybe you can straighten the legs a bit more. Maybe you can move the heels further back. But there is no agenda, just exploration. Feeling and sensing into the body and to the muscles. Good. On your next inhale, you're going to lift the left knee towards the body. Good. Try and keep it as close to the chest. Then next inhale, come on your right toes, as high up as you can. Then transfer the weight forwards, exactly like in plank, but with the left knee up. Hold it up. Engage this core. One more breath. Push the floor and step through. Sink into your right hip this time and move a few times forwards and back, up and down. And then let's bring the knee down on the floor, supporting yourself on the knee, but not with your whole weight. Simply more pushing the body away, rolling the shoulders back. Now sit into your right hip, engage your inner thighs. Almost feel like you're squeezing your inner thighs towards one another. And breathe. Good, last breath here. Let's move back into half splits. Careful not to support yourself on your knee, either the thigh or the shin, the floor or the blocks. Flex your left foot if you want to intensify the stretch. It's okay to keep the knee bent. Let's take an inhale and exhale all the air out. Hold the air out. Stretch the front leg as much as you can to your maximum and inhale. This floods the entire muscle with new oxygenated blood, getting rid of stagnant energy. Excellent. Inhale, come forwards, framing the foot. Come off the floor with your back knee. Support the entire foot on the floor. Step it to the right, so you're on rail tracks. Turn your back toes into 30 degrees. Bend the front knee so it's over your ankle. So this is your setup before you come up. And then come up. Let's stretch the arms this time. Good. So if keeping your back leg straight is difficult, you can straighten the front leg a little bit. But what I'd like us to focus today is keeping the back leg straight. Turn the body to the front. Lengthen the spine, both sides of the waist, look up. And then exhale, come forwards. Let's prepare in prayer this time. Lift the back heel off the floor. Slowly slide the back foot. Find your focus, find your balance. Warrior 3. Seti, lift the body a little. Yes, that's better. Engage the pelvic floor, lift the lower belly up. Beautiful. Find your focus. Looking in front of you. Turn the back knee down, the back toes down. Very good. One more breath. And then exhale, release the hands, release the leg. Good. Feet hip distance apart. Let's repeat the same forward fold, this time with the hands behind your back. This is also optional, but it's a great chest and shoulder opening option. Release the top of the head. Release the neck if you need to. Shake it. Shake the head for yes, for no. Good. Let's take a deep inhalation. And exhale all the air out, even through the mouth is fine. Hold the breath out. Straighten the legs to your maximum. And take a slow inhalation into your hamstrings. And let's take a couple more breaths. Brilliant. Let's release the arms down. Inhale, coming halfway. Exhale, let's go through a vinyasa. Inhaling cobra. And this time exhaling in child's pose. So keep your knees in line with your hips again. Relax the forehead on the ground. Option to have your arms forwards or down by the side of the body. This option is especially good if you have tension in the shoulders and the neck. So release the entire body into the mat. Give in to gravity. Just a few more breaths. So we've been working predominantly on the hip flexor. Now in the next sequence, we will explore the inner thigh. These are the muscles that lift your leg sideways and open your leg sideways. So let's stretch the arms forwards. Inhale, looking forwards, tucking the toes, and exhaling, coming to a downward facing dog. Good. On your next inhale, let's raise the right leg up. Stretch it as high up as you can. Heel to the sky, press the floor away. And on your next exhale, step the leg through. Turn the back heel on the floor, this time behind the front foot. Make sure your knees over your ankle and come up warrior two. Good. So this is the opening the inner hip. So keep that right knee traveling towards the back of the room. Yeah. Make sure you can see your toes. Keep your back leg really strong and straight. Doesn't matter where the arms are. Today we're more focusing on the hips. You can stretch them to the sides or place them on your hips. Let's take another breath. When you exhale, sink a little lower and feel how the back inner thigh is stretching too. And inhale, come up, both legs straight. Let's bring the arms parallel to the floor and slide forwards for triangle pose. So another pose that works on the inner hips. Now your right thigh, you can feel it in your inner thigh. Keep breathing, lengthen the spine. Also that lower waist very often is crunched. Lengthen it as well. Final breath. Good. And then from here, let's bend the front knee, support the elbow, stretch the left arm over the ear. Good. Open the top shoulder, revolve the chest open. Good. One more breath. And then let's frame the front foot. And from here, we're going to turn towards the left, straightening the left leg, flexing the toes up. I'll turn so you can see me for a little exploration of that pose. So again, if this is too much for you, not flexing the foot as much will help you. Or here also you have an option to keep the knee slightly bent. Good. Lengthen your spine. Let's take another breath. And exhale, place the hands in the middle and come to a wide-legged forward fold. Let's place the hands on our hips this time. Squeeze the elbows together. Allow the torso to hang. Again, shake the head for yes or no. Lengthen the spine. Send the chest forward, squeeze the elbows towards one another. Beautiful. One more breath. And on your exhale, release the hands down. Again, turn towards your right leg because the right leg is the one we've been working with. So I don't want you to mess them up and overwork one of your hips. Inhale and press back down in downward facing dog. Good. Now let's repeat on the left side. Inhale, lifting the left leg up this time. Stretch it, heel to the sky, crown towards the floor. Both arms are straight. And exhale, bring the foot between your hands. Back heel down on the floor. The back foot exactly behind your front foot. Bend the front knee 90 degrees. Stretch the arms, windmill them. Warrior two. Now important that you can see your left toe. Open that knee towards the back. Engage your pelvic floor, abdomen, and lift. So you're sinking with your legs, but you're lifting, engaging the core so that the pose is light, almost floaty. Good. Let's sink a little lower on your next inhale. Feel the stretch in the back leg. And on your next inhale, straighten the front leg. Slide forwards. And open the arms for triangle. Again, very important not to crunch the lower waist. Keep it long. Press the back foot into the floor. Turn the chest open towards the sky. One more breath. And then exhale, bend the front knee, support the elbow. Stretch the right arm over your ear. And turn your entire torso towards the sky. Back leg is strong. Press the outer edge of your back foot. Good. One more breath. And then exhale, frame the front foot. Sit into your left leg and come into stretch for your right inner thigh. Flex your foot. Lengthen your spine. Good. Final couple of breaths. And then slowly, let's move towards the middle. Both legs straight. Toes pointing slightly in. This time, let's interlace the hands behind your back. And bring them forwards towards the floor. Transfer the weight so it's equally spread between your toes and your heels. Good, let's take a deep inhale. Full exhale and hold the air out. Stretch and come into your pose to your maximum. And then take a slow, smooth inhale. And final breath before we move out from this pose. Release the arms down. Bring your feet a little closer with the toes pointing to 45 degrees and sit in your yogic squat. Good, so we've explored the front of the hips, the inner hip muscles, the hamstrings, and now we're going to explore the outer hip, which very often is very undeveloped as a muscle, and it's one of the most challenging poses One of the most challenging poses are the ones that include the stretch of the outer hip. So let's bring the feet together and start from a forward fold, squeezing the knees and the ankles together. Sit in your chair and lift the arms up. Now, very important, feet and knees together, squeeze them together. And then exhale, prayer. The left elbow behind your right knee. Press the top palm, open the top shoulder. Now, to feel the stretch in your outer right hip now, sit a little lower. And push your right hip back, your left hip forwards. Yeah, that's it. Lengthen the spine, one more breath. And then exhale, look down and lift your back foot off the floor like we always do and step it behind you. Just another version of this stretch. Holding it for just one breath. Open the top shoulder. Whew. And exhale. Let's frame the front foot. Good. From here, we're going to go into eagle pose. So let's first straighten the front leg and then slowly come halfway and then all the way up. Now keep your front leg a little bent. You're going to transfer your weight on your front leg and wrap your left thigh and left shin around the standing leg. When you do that, you're going to turn to the right. Try to keep facing forward. And now let's include the arms. Left elbow over the right. Good. Sit a little lower. Push those hips back. Bend the standing leg. Sit a little lower. Lengthen the spine. Feel your outer hip being stretched. Very nice. And then slowly, let's come all the way up. Release. Release the arms. Whew, shake. We're almost there. Let's do the other side. So, feet together, knees together. Squeeze them, sit down in the chair. Exhale, prayer in front of the heart. This time, the right elbow behind the left knee. Press the top palm down, open the top shoulder. Revolve the chest open. Now, sit a little lower and turn, bring your left hip forwards. Keep breathing. Beautiful. Exhale, look down, and then start thinking about lifting the right foot off the floor and stepping it back. Sink into the front hip again. Just for another breath, lengthen the spine from the heel to the crown. And exhale, frame the front foot. Good. Let's straighten the front leg slightly. Engage the core, come halfway up, and then slowly all the way up. Keep that front leg micro bend. On your next inhale, transfer the weight. And bring the right thigh and the right shin around the standing leg. Now, if you've twisted to the left, bring the body to the front again. And left elbow goes over the right. Pull the elbows forwards, sit back. Keep your spine long and roll the right hip back. Very good. One more breath. And then slowly come up. Unravel. Good. Let's shake out all the tension from the legs, from the arms. And actually, a very nice hip flexor releasing exercise. Take a block or a book or something that will lift one of your legs off the floor. Step on it. Well, that's a bit high, James, and you're going to break your speaker. So, stepping with one of your feet on a little height. And then what you're going to do simply is you're going to dangle your opposite leg forth and back, just allowing gravity to release the tension in that front hip muscle. And then allow the leg to do any movements that are coming naturally. So it might not be forth and back. It could be a very weird movement, maybe even figure of 8, figure of 4. And then feel that release. Good. And let's step off that block. And just for a moment, connect with your hips. That is, place your focus and then feel the difference. And let's do the same on the other side. So stepping on a height. It should be a sufficient height so you can dangle your opposite leg. No tension at all, no control in this movement. Simply shake it off. It's not even shaking. It should be even more uncontrolled than shaking. And then allow the foot to do its thing. The leg. Good. And once we've done that, we've released a bit of tension. Let's move the blocks on the side and calm down for a final little exploration. Now we're going to strengthen the hip flexors and then we're going to lengthen them again. So the best pose to do this is Navasana. Now, bringing your feet on the floor, lean back, keeping your back straight. Bring one foot off the floor. You can keep your knees bent. Arms forward, lower belly engaged. Let's take 3 rounds of 5 breaths. Either straighten the legs or keep them bent. Okay, let's say the first round is done. Cross the feet, push the floor, hands by your hips. Lift the hips off the floor, engage the core. 2 more. Focus on your breath. Feel into your hip flexors, muscles are strengthening, lifting the whole weight of your legs. Cross the legs the other way around. Press the floor, lift the hips, engage the core. Final 1. Lower belly in, pull the belly button in and up. Lift a little higher, lengthen a little more. Good, well done, excellent. Exhale, lift. Maybe lift the feet. Okay, good. Now bring your shins under your hips. Final stretch for your front hip flexors and for your quads. So in 2 variations, we're going to do the hero pose. The hero pose, you can have your heels just under your hips, stretch the arms behind your back, or if you have the flexibility to bring the shins to the side and sit between your shins on the floor, you can do the pose from there. Good. Now, if you're sitting on your heels, I'd suggest you tuck the tailbone under and lift, lift, lift. Stretch the front of the body. Feel the opening in your thighs, in your belly. Open across the chest. Okay, let's take one more breath and then slowly come back down. We're going to take this one more time. So take a little break. If you want to go for the other version with your shins to the side, you could also use a block to sit on. And I'm going to take you to the full version of the hero pose where you lie down on the floor. So again, if this is too much, don't even attempt. So let's start. Walking the hands back. Let's first press the floor away, hands under your shoulders. Open the chest. And from here, either start tucking the tailbone, lifting the hips off the floor, or if you want to go for the full version of the hero pose, your shin should be open on the side, Teti. Move your shin out of your thighs, yes. And then you can either stay on your elbows or proceed to go all the way down on the floor. Now, once you're here, tucking the tailbone forwards and engaging the core. Good. Wherever you are, let's take 2 more deep, long breaths. Let's take an inhale first and a full, complete exhale. Hold the air out. Tuck the tailbone, lift the hips a little higher, and then take an inhale, flooding the front of your thighs with new oxygenated blood. And then slowly find your way out. Being careful and loving. And let's come to a seat. So our time is up. We have just about 5-7 minutes. If you feel I've missed something or there is a pose you really are dying to do it. If you've had enough, let's just come down on the floor. Keep your knees bent, but open your feet as wide as your mat. And let's bring one knee towards the floor, the other knee towards the floor, just like the screen wipers move to wipe the raindrops. Gently releasing your lower back. And then let's keep the feet on the floor. Bring them not too close, but not too far from your hips. And follow the alignment of your hips, knees, and ankles being in one line. Yeah, hips, knees, ankles. Now release the top of the body, move the arms away, relax the shoulders towards the ground. Gently bring the chin in towards the chest and feel the lengthening in your neck. So what we are doing with this pose is the psoas, or the hip flexor resting pose, is we're allowing it to release all tension and give in to gravity. So just take a few breaths focusing on the fronts of your hips. It's called a constructive resting pose. It's great for when you're overworking your hips. But it's also great for just releasing tension. And here I'll give you the option, if you feel the tension in your hip muscles, to stay here for your Shavasana, or simply straighten the legs. Allow the feet to fall out. If you need to grab a pillow or any other prop, you do that. And for the next 5 minutes, simply enjoy a relaxation, letting go of any control of the breath. And notice how with every exhalation, your body is becoming more relaxed, more at ease, more comfortable. So I'll leave you here to decide if you want to rest a little longer or to slowly come out of your relaxation. And I thank you for joining me. Have a great day. Bye.